Hey Warriors fans, I'm Scott Warras. He is head football coach Eric Treske as we enter week 4 of the college football season. Warriors have another Concordia team coming to town on Saturday afternoon. This one is Concordia University Chicago. And coach, before we talk about the matchup with the Cougars on Saturday, let's go back last week, the matchup with Concordia, Wisconsin. Look, we have to talk about what a weird night that was. And big reason was 2 delays, 2 lightning weather delays, about 95 minutes in totality. How do you think you guys handled that? Because that certainly was unexpected.
Yeah.
You can't prepare for that. How did you think, in hindsight, your guys handled that adversity?
I think, obviously, despite the outcome, I was really pleased with how we handled that. We had a lot of strong communication. Upperclassmen did a good job leading, keeping guys motivated, keeping them focused. It is difficult to maintain that heightened state for such a long period of time. I think especially after the first delay, getting done with the delay, heading on the field, playing about a play, and
One
then
play.
almost another play. It's all right. So regaining that momentum again was kind of challenging. But overall, I loved our team. Just excited to play a good Concordia team, a rivalry game. We're disappointed with the outcome, but man, we played so hard. We got to execute. We're a step away too often, and that starts with how we practice, how we prepare, the things I'm doing as a coach, and I'm confident we're going to fix it.
How did the delays change the game, if at all? Maybe in terms of play calling, reaction, strategy, maybe not, but did it?
Now, because of Huddle Sideline and some of those resources that you have that maybe 3-4 years ago you didn't, the number of adjustments that you're able to make during that time were heightened. Especially halftime, it's really difficult. You're making during a regular game, you're making most of your adjustments real time. Halftime is very little, right? You're talking more like game flow, hey, let's gather as a staff and just talk about the big picture. But I would say because we had such a long period of time, you could make more adjustments than you normally would.
Can you explain what Huddle and the Sidelines is and the software you guys have access to?
Yeah, so Huddle Sideline allows you to have replays. And there's other softwares like it, but you can essentially replay the game real time on a tablet with the guys. And so, years ago when you were relying on feedback from coaches, players, you'd be drawing things out. Now you can watch and talk through what you're seeing, provided that the technology works. Sometimes technology is fickle, and that's never fun. But yeah, provided that it's going smooth, you can watch things through.
Do you like that? Do you embrace the advent of technology or the implementation of technology, specifically on a game day during those 60 minutes? Do you like that?
If you have that tool, yeah. I think the hardest thing is it's not been always a reliable tool. So if you're planning on Huddle being, a key element of it, and then Wi-Fi's, funky, or every stadium's different, and so those create some challenges. But yeah, when it works, it's really good. I think the biggest thing is still as it still puts the onus on you as a coach, though, to say, okay, what do we do with this information to help your players say, how do I translate it now to the field?
Like you said, it was a good game. It was a really good game, lost in just the oddity of the delays and the kind of start-stop nature of the evening. It's a 7-point game, and Concordia gets a touchdown with just under a minute to go to ultimately get the win. It was very entertaining. We were here a week ago at this time, Coach, and we were talking about the defense. When, how can they start getting some takeaways? And I think you said, well, these things tend to come in bunches, and we got 1, and next thing you know, it becomes 2. You got 4. You got 4 takeaways last week, and I know that's something that was on the to-do list.
Yeah, really proud of our secondary safeties. They're doing a great job diagnosing and seeing things, getting people where they need to be. Also, just the ability to get, the pass rush, considering our injuries at D-line and some of those things. I think Coach Donovan's done a great job being creative with our fronts and our looks, and then the effort that we're getting from guys that are essentially playing kind of out of position. That was really, really great to see. It was a team effort. Yeah.
We saw you make a change at quarterback with senior Nate Griffith taking over. How did you think Griff played, and how do you challenge him to take his game to even another level against CUC?
Yeah, I think his strength is his mind. Nate, to be honest, is a future coach. He sees things really, really well. We can have really high-level conversation on the sideline in terms of adjustments and what to see. I think the next level is being able to do that more consistently on the field than he did. He had a pretty solid day, but there's a couple things that we missed, obviously, and He knows that, and I think for me too, I got to be a more aggressive caller for him so that things aren't as hard to decipher. We got a little concerned. The run game was going well, and we usually try to protect that with screens or play action. I don't think we did a good enough job, and that starts with me.
Every game, you and the staff, after looking at the film, name a Warrior of the Week. Who was your Warrior of the Week for the game against CUW?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, when a lot of guys play well, but Jalen Pereira was the guy that ultimately we settled on. He had a phenomenal game, especially like a stretch there in the second half. But he's a linebacker by trade. He can play a lot of different roles. He's a pretty good pass dropper, but a really good rusher. And he was playing more up front for us than he had in recent weeks, and just really, really impressed with his attitude, his leadership. He's had kind of a servant's heart with our team. He's new to the team this year, but he was capable of playing from week one, and he's been patient for his moment. So
you're right. There was that stretch. I think it was, again, you lose track of what portion of the game it was when it was such a weird game itself. Like a real ball hawk. I mean, there was a stretch where he was in on tackles, and if he wasn't, he was right there around the ball. He was around that football, showing good lateral speed, and I guess speaks to maybe his talents and just kind of the multi-dimensional athlete he is defensively.
Yeah, it was fun to see. I mean, we've been recruiting Jalen for a long time. We recruited him out of high school. He wound up going to junior college. And so to be able to get him back in the team, it's been phenomenal. And to be able to see him play and shine like that in front of his family, and we're really proud of him. And he's just going to continue to get better.
Before I ask you a little bit about CUC, the Concordia Chicago Cougars, who come in 0-1 in the NAC on Saturday, I want to just step back for a couple things, couple of developments that we've seen now in this season. Drew Mears, in his punting capacity, because he's also a wide receiver, but in his punting capacity, he's about 44 yards per punt. That leads the NAC. That is 10th in America right now. That is a game-changing, field-tilting punter that you have right now.
Yeah, we do. That's been a strength of our season so far, and I'm really proud of Drew. That's something that he's only grown in. Each year that's been a part of his role, and he's doing a phenomenal job. He flips the field. I mean, I try to tell guys, as much as you don't want to surrender the ball or punt, like, having an explosive punt, it's the equivalent of throwing a 35 or 40-yard vertical and then getting a 3 and out or 4 and out on the other side of the field. Like, it is an explosive play, and he's been phenomenal. That's also, I think, speaks to our snappers improving their game. A.J. Wallach did a great job, recovered a fumble, forced a penalty, was really good there. And same with the coverage unit. So it's been cool to see. I'm really proud of him, and he wears a lot of hats for us and does them all very well.
You were saying the other day, he's got 8 inside the 20 right now?
8 in the 20. So to have that average with 8 in the 20 is pretty impressive. He's been really, really good.
Through just a few games so far.
Yep.
The other thing, Coach, big picture Northern Athletics Collegiate Conference-wise, last weekend, big upset, maybe for more for some than others, with Aurora defending, reigning champions multiple times over, 46-game conference winning streak, went back to 2018. Benedictine goes to Aurora, gets a big stop in the waning moments, and upsets the Spartans. What does that mean for this conference going forward or even in the short term?
I think it kind of two things. One, Aurora being so strong has helped our league rise. I think other conferences, I think committees that are deciding postseason opportunities, some of those things. Aurora having success has only helped our league.
Raise the profile.
Yeah, it's iron sharpening iron, right? It's forced our teams to all improve our game, right? You're trying to keep pace with what they had been doing, it's been a phenomenal run. I'm sure it will be. Coach Beebe does a really good job. I think what you see with Benedictine, it demonstrates that there's potentially more parity in our league this year than there has been in a while, which should excite a lot of teams. It should make you feel like any given Saturday something can happen in the NAC, and that the conference is really up for grabs, and that should motivate, I think, the teams that haven't been in the hunt for a while. And I'm sure Aurora will respond. They're well coached and they're talented kids, but I think the hardest thing when you play a team like that is you play the mystique, you play the logo, you play what they did, and Zimbelman, one of their best quarterbacks in conference history, isn't playing for them anymore. Those guys that were really good, they have good players now, but you're not playing the past. You're playing the guys right in front of you, so that changes that.
I've talked about that, I think, with you, maybe about Aurora in the past, and other coaches with other team, the big team in the conference, and you're walking into the stadium or the arena, and they've already got a touchdown up on the board before you've even kicked it off, just psychologically, that advantage. Okay, so Concordia Chicago is here Saturday, a traditional, quote-unquote, traditional start, back to a 1 o'clock Central start time. Cougars are 2-1, 0-1 in the NAC. Eric, they lost 59-28 at home to St. Norbert. Got behind by 4 touchdowns in the first quarter. We're playing catch-up ever since. I imagine, even if you weren't playing Concordia, a fast start is important for your guys.
Yeah, we need to start strong, need to be confident. I think our offense needs to see that they can do some things and finish drives. We haven't finished quite enough. And that's going to be a challenge. Concordia does some nice things. They've definitely improved as a program. Coach, I think, has done a great job. You got a new defensive coordinator who's doing a nice job as well. Last week was a unique game for them. They spotted some really short field position for St. Norbert early, and then they were playing catch up, so they weren't able to be maybe as balanced as they usually can be. They are a team capable of explosive plays on both sides of the ball. Really, really good perimeter unit on offense, and defensively, they're going to be active. They're going to pressure. They're going to play man. They're going to try to challenge you.
What might be an X factor in the game as people are there or watching the broadcast? Something that you would offer them to keep in mind as they watch the thing play out?
I think it's how we handle man coverage. Okay. When they want to pressure or play us in man to try to contain our run game. It's probably the one thing we've done well in offense right now is we ran the football fairly well. They're going to have a plan to take that away and say, hey, we're going to make your quarterback, we're going to make your receivers beat us. And that'll be the question is will our guys be ready? We've worked really hard at it. We feel like we have talented players that just haven't been able to put it together when it mattered. And Saturday will be the test.
Real quick, Heroes Day is the celebration Saturday. Tell us what you have in store. It's something you do every year.
Every year we try to celebrate first responders, police, fire, EMT, people that are literally on the front lines of our day-to-day lives that are helping serve our community. It's a hard job. I'll never forget District 2, Patrick Paget was the captain there, and he always said, we're going to meet people on their worst day. And that's a hard thing to do. And so we want to honor them for the service that they have in our communities. We want to celebrate them and give them an opportunity to enjoy, being front and center of a football game in the community. And so this year's pretty cool. Coach Kubaki, I'll give him a lot of praise. He's helped build this out. We're going to have a Battle of the Badges game prior to our game. So a flag football game between MPD and MFD, the fire department versus police department. So that's a tradition that we're looking to start, and we're excited to see that play out.
That's awesome. Yeah. About what time might that start?
That starts at 10. Yeah, so if you want to see some good ball before our football game, come on up at 10 o'clock. There should be a bunch of cool stuff kind of surrounding the game as the game goes on as well.
Outstanding. And then it's the Warriors and Concordia Chicago. All right, Coach, in the time-honored tradition of our Friday morning conversations, we play 5 questions, and I thought the theme this week, in honor of last week's weather delayed game. These are all weather-related questions.
Let's go.
Number 1, 10 inches of snow or 10 below?
Snow.
Number 2, and it's a 2-parter, okay? What weather element annoys you the most, A, in general, just as a person, B, as a football coach, if it's a different answer?
As a person, cold. I'm not a big cold fan. Ironically, I live in Milwaukee. And then as a football coach, I'd say wind. It's very underestimated. Like you can handle rain. Yeah, there's some slippery nature with the football and whatnot, but wind is definitely a huge factor in a game that people don't think about.
Number 3, a snowfall on Christmas Eve or a cloudless, sunny, low humidity, comfortable 4th of July?
4th of July, baby.
Okay. Yep. Number 4, this is wind here. How strong a gust of wind do you think you could withstand before being blown over?
Let's go.
If you had a low base and you're
Give me at least, let's go triple digits. I can take, I'm going 100. I'm going 100. I've been outside in 60 or 70. I mean, I can brace myself,
I feel like,
Okay.
All right, we're gonna find ourselves a wind tunnel, and we're gonna go there.
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll
tape it.
get blown over.
Number 5. I'm looking forward to asking this one. Number 5.
Oh, man.
If your house was taken up into a twister, which I heard happened once in history, in what location, real or fictional, would you wish the house would land? As has been known to happen at least once in history, I'm told.
like Wizard of Oz style. Where would you like it to go?
That too. Anywhere.
Anywhere.
Real life, make believe.
Real life or
anywhere,
make believe.
Anything.
This is so random.
You're in your house, it's up, and next thing you know, you wake up and
Yeah, I think it would be great to be, transported to some sort of beach or something.
Okay.
Like, oh my goodness, like all of a sudden we have oceanfront, like let's go.
Oceanfront property.
That would be pretty cool. So yeah, I would say something near water. I prefer inland lakes, to be honest. A little bit more. You could do more on the inland lake.
True.
There's less weather. If you're coastline, we got tsunamis, we got hurricanes, we got some disasters you got to be ready for. So I would say maybe an inland lake. Okay. I'll settle there.
I have long thought that living in southeastern Wisconsin is almost a buffer from a lot of the awful weather-related disasters
like
that plague the
blizzard
world.
Cold is like the worst we deal with, which just is you can manage.
All right. Bonus question. What is the wildest weather you've ever experienced? Maybe in the football world or not. What is the wild? I mean, have you ever?
I'll give you a football story,
Yeah.
right? So let's keep it zeroed in. It's a football show. So the first time I was ever blessed to be a part of a college playoff experience, 2015, we win the league. We draw Wheaton College, phenomenal team, like probably one of their best teams they've ever had. So
this is when you were at
congratulations.
Lakeland.
I was at Lakeland.
Yeah.
And so we got a game plan. We have really good receivers. 2 guys on our receiving core wound up in NFL mini camps. They're a talented crew out there. And so we're like, all right, we are going to rip the ball. Like, these boys can stop the run. Like, we're going to run the ball about 5 times. Like, it's going to be a 60-plus pass experience. That's our shot, right? So the weather is oddly good most of the week. We're like, it's November. You don't know what you're going to get. We're getting like 50-degree days. We're like, okay, this is great. We have the walkthrough down at Wheaton. We're at their field. We do the walkthrough. It's a crisp night, but it's clean. It's beautiful. We're looking good. Like, the guys are excited. We do the team dinner, the whole thing, because the NCAA takes care of you pretty good in the playoffs. And right as we're walking out of team dinner, you start to see these little flurries. And our guys are like, oh, cool, it's snowing, and the whole deal. The next morning, we wake up, and it is a blizzard. Absolute blizzard. And what's wild is if you went about an hour and a half north, like Whitewater had a playoff game the same day, no snow. But we were caught in this blizzard band. So the plan to throw the football is a little derailed. No joke, in the middle of the game, our head coach almost got hit by a plow twice. It was so bad you couldn't see the yard markers. So while we were on one side of the field, they were plowing off the other side of the field. And he had to call timeout twice because literally the plow came so close to him, it almost hit him. It was wild, dude. It was wild. So yeah, I looked at my quarterback, Michael Whitley, at the time we got done with the game. If you ever seen like the movie Titanic, and Jack's in the water and he's got like icicles on his face and he's shattering. Yeah. And he was like, I did my best, coach. And I was like, bro, I know you did. Like, this was a crazy day. Wow. It was definitely a unique weather experience I don't know if I'll ever have.
And it kind of came out of nowhere. It wasn't forecasted?
Yeah. First, it really wasn't. They thought it would be a little bit of flurries that night. No one thought a blizzard was coming. It came fast and furious, and it was the first snow game I ever was a part of.
I'm happy to say that Saturday's forecast is like 74 and sunny.
Yeah, beautiful. So, beautiful.
No
I think it's going to be warmer than our first game, oddly enough.
Okay.
So, yeah.
No snow. That's
no
what
snow.
matters. Warriors in Concordia, Chicago, 1 o'clock kickoff, 12:30 for the pregame if you won't be there. Coach,
thank you so much.
Best of skill.
Yep.
Thanks, everybody.
God bless everyone.